Good afternoon, Stampers. How is everybody today? I'm just getting on my phone so I can see your comments as you come in. Please say hello. We're using a stamp set today that was just released in our online exclusives. So I'm hoping lots of you come on today. I've got some announcements to make for all of you. So stay to the end because you are going to want to hear these. I need to turn my phone down. And of course, it tells me that I need to turn my phone up for my alarms. So welcome. Oops. Let me get this. Okay. There we go. Whoops, it doesn't want to stay on. I'll just prop it up here. So good afternoon and say hi as you guys come on. Hey, Chris, finally seeing me live. Yes, I'm so happy. You must not be doing too much today, huh? Or you're doing stuff at home. So I'm so happy you're here. I am actually showing a stamp set that just came out and I've been having a lot of fun with it. In fact, I did a live on my TikTok yesterday and people just loved it. I am doing lives over there every day. So if you want, and they're going to be different projects than what I bring you here. So if you want even more inspiration, join me over there at 4:30 in the afternoon. I do show stamping and painting over there because you guys know that I also paint and I'm incorporating that into my stuff over there. So, so Chris, are you watching me on your phone? Are you watching me on your TV? Let me know. So I am once again going to get started here. So we're going to be using the Pop-Up Petals stamp set and dies. This is our new packaging. And I find that your stamp sets and dies come in the same size packaging now. And they'll each have an envelope. And they say that they're also going to be all photopolymer. We are phasing out our red rubber stamps. So I found out that so far I can store my dies and my stamp sets in one pocket instead of two pockets. So what I do is I take my stamps, leave them in the sleeve here, and then I put my dies in backwards this way so that they both fit in the one envelope and are easily stored. There is a slot for the pocket. So this is all you need for your die and your stamp set. Isn't that awesome? I just love that. So we're using this, and this is a photopolymer stamp set, like I said, and it's a set of 16 stamps, and I need to get my dies out. Let me get those out. This set of dies do create a pop-up card, but we're not doing a pop-up card today. I'm using some scraps and stuff for a friend card, as my title said. We are going to be using this die here. So I'm going to take that out and move this to the side. I'm using Pool Party and yeah, brain fart, oh dear. Petal Pink and some basic beige. I'm using the Country Woods Designer Series paper. So this is going to be a little bit different look than the card that I did on my TikTok. That was a bright cheery card. This one is going to be a softer look card. Also, I colored yesterday with my Stampin' Blends. And today we are going to do some two-step stamping. So it's a little bit different for those of you that watch me over there. So here's my card base, which is Pool Party. So we're going to fold that in half. I'm going to take my bone folder and crease that. Then our next layer is going to be our petal pink. I'm going to grab some glue here. I'm probably going to run out of glue while I'm here on live, so I've got a backup already. Yep, I used it up yesterday. So let's open this new one up. Go. So we're just going to put this, adhere this on. This card is going to have an extra layer than I normally do because I wanted the basic beige as my background on top, and I don't know, it's a softer look, it's a more subtle look, but I wanted the embellishments on this card to pop a little bit. So I added a layer of white. I'm going to put this here. So before I put the white on, I'm going to show you what it would look like before I put it all together with only the basic beige or adding the white to it. Okay, see how that white just makes those colors pop? I kind of like that a little bit better. We're going to set this to the side for right now. So I have some squares of our pool party, and I'm going to line them up here on my, got to go over here, on my grid. And then I'm going to take the second one and just put some adhesive here. And I'm going to put this in a diamond shape, kind of halfway. So I'm just going to eyeball this. And what I want is I want these 4 squares or 4 triangles to be even. So it's going to be off just a little bit from here. So I'm just looking at my lines here on my glass mat. Now I can move this just a little bit because I am using the liquid glue, and that's why I use that. Okay, so we've got that. And now I've got these pieces. And the measurements will be on my blog, judystamps.com, tomorrow. And I'm going to start placing these. But when I place this first one on here, I am just going to put a little bit of glue right down the center here. Okay, and I'm going to place that on. And what I want to do is I'm checking this reveal, and my glue goes this way. That's because I want this flap to come up and this flap to come up. Okay, then, and I'm paying attention to which way my grain goes. So I'm going to turn this a little bit, and I want all my wood grain to go in the same direction. So now from here, I can go ahead and put this on. So I want my wood grain going up. I'm going to place this here, making sure that reveal there is even. I'm going to turn this and take the other piece and adhere this. So if you're just starting out with this layout, I recommend picking paper that that's non-directional. Okay, so I'm not paying attention to how they're lining up here. They're going to line up okay. I'm just paying attention to this reveal here. Okay, we're going to go on and turn and put this in the same direction. Okay, then we need the petal pink, doing the same thing. Oops, same direction, and that reveal. So this is kind of creating a quilt, and your centers are just about coming dead right on. Don't worry if they're exactly even or not. Okay, then we go to this one in the same direction. Now, if you wanted it to look a little bit different, you could switch those out and go in different directions. Now, when you get to your last two, this one's going to go on top, okay? But all along, this corner here has been tucked under, and that's why I don't adhere that one down quite yet. I'll tuck it in there. Oops. And I should have actually tacked that corner down. I don't know why I always do the center on this one. But we're going to go ahead and adhere this. And go live here. I'd like to welcome those of you watching me on Facebook, and whether you watch live or on the replay. Now, like I said in the very beginning, if you were on, I am making an announcement today that's going to affect my Facebook viewers. And I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I've decided to make this decision and I'm going to go with it. Okay, I'm going to tuck that under there. And then I'm going to take this flap. Oops, that moved a little bit. So let's wiggle that so it's straight. And I'm going to take a little bit of glue here and tap it here. Okay. So we've created that quilt block. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. So we are going to grab our stamp now, and we're going to do some stamping. And I'm going to be using the Memento ink to stamp the image. Make it nice and bold. I was telling my friends over on TikTok that my viewers here on Facebook don't like to talk a whole lot. And you guys like my projects to be quick and fast, less than 30 minutes. And they couldn't believe it. They go, you got to be kidding me, because I will tell you, you guys, we just chat away. I was on for, 45 minutes yesterday. I've been on for an hour. And I have friends visiting me there and chatting away. I've gotten to know so many of them. Okay, it's upside down. I'm just lining up to make sure I've got it in the right direction because I have not marked this stamp yet. Okay, so this is the Petal pink. Ink that, and those are colored now. How many of you like two-step stamps? Because, oops, all the coloring is done. I need to go into my crushed curry. Okay, and this goes right in those centers. So we need to color the leaves though, because there is not a stamp for the leaves, but the leaves are so small, that's not a problem. And I'm doing something a little bit odd. I am coloring them with the pool party. I want to keep my colors the same. I could have gone with like a soft sea foam, but I feel these leaves, and you guys have seen it before, I do weird things like this. I do not do the usual a lot. Okay, I'm going to grab my mini cut and emboss machine. I am grabbing my plates, and we need to remember to stair step those so they're not even. We're going to put on our image. Let's get our die next. We're going to set that on there, just like that, lining that up. Okay, and then I slap that top one down, squeeze it. It moved a little bit. It's hard to do it holding it up like that. So let me get this back on here. I'm going to cut it just like this. Okay, let's get that on, making sure it's stair-stepped. Squeeze it. put it in our machine, and we're just going to roll that through. Now this is the mini machine, and I love it because when we travel, I can take it along and not take up a lot of room, and I can even cut while driving. Not while I'm driving, I mean while Dave is driving. So I found that I like it. Now, isn't that cute? I just love this stamp set. I am falling in love. So now, like I said, I'm going to put that, I'm going to attach that right up here, and I'm going to use dimensionals for that. So let me grab those over here on the wrong side. I have been reorganizing my craft room because I've gotten a couple of painting orders. I'm not going to put that, oh yeah, I can put this on. Painting orders, and so I need to make room for painting too. I used to paint in the garage, and with the weather turning, now you can decide, do you want the petal pink up on top, or do you want the pool party? And I want the pool party because my flowers are pink. Okay, so I'm going to put a sentiment down here and some stamping, but do you see how it looks here? And the stamping is going to be in black. Now, here's with the basic white. Watch how this pops. Look at the difference. So what do you guys think I should do? Should I do the white on there, or should I just leave it with the basic beige? Okay, people are saying white, so we're going to do the white. So I'm going to pull this away because I don't need that because we're going to be stamping here. I'm going to glue this on. And I want to line it up along the top, and I know that I have about a ½ inch that I can go, and I want it even on both sides here. It doesn't have to be, it's just my preference. Okay, so we're going to lay that flat right down there. Okay, so let's do our sentiment. And this one says, grateful for your friendship. Put that down in this corner. Just like that. Now we have these little butterflies that come here. And I'm just going to put one. I'm going to put it right over here. Just like that. Okay, but I feel that we need to color it, don't you? I think it's kind of bland there. I could have stamped it in any of the colors, but we're going to actually color it in with our, no, I'm going to use Stampin' Blends because I use Memento. So we don't have a crushed curry, so I'm going to go ahead with the petal pink. And so I am going to do the wings with the petal pink. And then I'm going to do the body with our pool party. So I'm using those two colors. Okay, now I'm going to pull this card over. And this is what we have. Look how clean and simple that card is. Do you think it needs something else though? I don't think it does. I know some of you are going to say, yeah, rhinestone. I agree, Chris, the white, it made it pop. Definitely. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this here and adhere this. Thank you for answering, Chris. I know I've got some YouTube followers and I don't see comments on YouTube as I'm live, but I will answer any questions that you may have later. So that's the front of our card. I am going to do an insert. because we need to decorate the insides of our cards. So that's fine. So we're going to go 3 3/4. So we have an even border around the entire thing. And on the inside, we're going to stamp our bouquet again. I just think that that is just too cute. And we do have a sentiment for the inside. And it says, "You make my life better just being in it." And isn't that true of all our friends? I am just so grateful for all my friends that not only support me on here, but support me in life. I don't have a sister, so I especially enjoy girlfriends. Although growing up, I will admit, I related better to the boys because I grew up with 3 brothers and our whole neighborhood was boys. So I didn't have to deal with the cattiness of the girls growing up. But so many of my friends had sisters and I was jealous. But I was only jealous when they got along, not when they fought. You know what? I'm not going to do the bouquet. I am going to do the butterfly in here. I just think this butterfly is just too cute. And we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do the pool party wings on the inside and the petal pink body. So just switching it up a little bit. And don't forget to decorate your envelopes. We hate naked envelopes, right? I know Chris is always decorating her envelopes. And if she forgets to, she makes me pull out my stamps and inks so she can do it. Okay, let's put this on the inside. Look how cute that is. We could have just stamped a saying and then a couple butterflies on the front, right? So there we go. And so that is our card today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And now for the announcement. I will continue to do lives on Facebook, but my lives will only be up until 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. Okay, and then they'll be taken down. Right now, Facebook takes them down after a month. But I want to give you guys a chance to see it if you work, because several of you work and can't watch me live when I'm on at noon. And eventually, I may switch the time to 4:30 in the afternoon, the same time I go live on TikTok, so that I can come live here and be live there at the same time. And then you will be getting the same projects. So until the end of the year, I will leave my lives up until Facebook takes them down. But starting January 1st, my lives will only remain on Facebook until 8 p.m. So let me know what you think about that. I'm sure a lot of you aren't going to be happy. But I love to stamp with you guys live, and that is primarily my purpose for being on here live, is to stamp with you at the same time and answer your questions. So until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.